Good morning and welcome to Barter Farms. There's my grandson sitting in a 1970s Bobcat 600. So today what we're going to be doing is changing the hydraulic seals in these cylinders. So we ordered some kits online, and before we get started here, again, thank you. Welcome to Barter Farms. If you'll hit that like and subscribe button, that will help our channel out a little bit as we start trying to get more videos posted. We also do videos of the Harbor Freight sawmill that's over there. We're getting ready to saw up that log, but we got to get the wheel cylinders fixed first. And I'm Larry, and I'm going to put you down so I can have my two hands to do this job. So I have already, we prepped this side already, and we punched out the pin using a hammer and a little bar. You just punch out the pins. Everybody's always scared of doing these, but I'm actually going to do it right on the Bobcat. It seems to make it easier for me to do cylinders while they're still on the equipment. So I'm going to have my, first thing is you want to try to make sure most of the hydraulic fluid is out of these, which is why my grandson needs to be up in the Bobcat. So by pulling this, we're going to go up with it. So, not the other way. There we go. See how I can go in with the cylinder? And I want to push all the fluid in that I can. I should probably go ahead and pop that other cylinder off. But Alright, so we got that cylinder in. Most of the way. You're still stepping on it, right? Yeah. Alright. I think we'll go ahead and do this one also. This side I can actually almost pull the pin by hand. That's how bad this cylinder is. Now you don't want to punch the pins all the way out. It makes it a little bit more difficult. And on my Bobcat I do have the tires chopped. It isn't going to roll uphill, but it does have a tendency to want to roll downhill if we ain't careful. Alright, so this cylinder's got a few scratches in it, but it is a 1970s Bobcat, so go ahead and press it, bud. But for around our farm, it does what we need to do. We rescued this sucker out of a truck junkyard. It barely would stay running. They got a race car seat in it. Okay. Yep, let go the pedal. Alright. So we got that out. So next thing we're going to do, I guess we're set up to do this one. Because this has a pin in it and is holding the shaft, like I said, it makes it easier for me. You just grab onto this ring at the end with the pipe wrench, is what I use, and just turn it. Now we are going to have some fluid come out of here and get a little messy. That's why I have it parked here where I always do anything like that. Grab my pan. So what we're going to do, like I said, just Unscrew this off. Now I've already done part of the seals on this side. Most cylinders have a number on them, stamped on them, when you go to order the parts. And they sent me the wrong kit. They sent me a kit for 1.25 inches instead of a 1.5 inches, or a 1-inch shaft. So I have actually changed out most of the seals in this cylinder. Alright, so we grab most of it out of there. And we just pull the shaft out. Go ahead and press it. Sometimes it gets a pretty good suction. And it doesn't want to come out. And the ideal situation is don't drop it like I just did. But I'm going to check it. Looks okay. Alright, and now that I got that on there, so what you have is a shaft with a nut on it. Some of them have nuts, most of them do. You got a seal here. There's going to be seals on the inside of this. An O-ring, a seal here, and a few other seals. So I'll see if I have a wrench here to go ahead and loosen this up with. No, so just use the handy dandy pipe wrench. The new kit comes with a new nut. And this nut is brand new. That's why it's a little hard to take off. So I'm going to bring you closer so you can see what's going on over here. I'll just bring the parts up. So right here, there's an O-ring that seals this. Then you have a harder O-ring right here. This one's brand new, so I probably am not going to change it out. Then you have this outer seal, and you're going to have an inner seal. Now I didn't have the right O-rings before because they told me Well, they sent me an 1.25 inch shaft instead of the 1 inch shaft. So my O-rings inside of here are not the correct ones, but everything else in the kit is the same except for the 1 inch O-rings. Now, see if I can show you. So this O-ring right here is actually 2 different O-rings. You're going to have a flat one and then a round one. You got to make sure they're both in there and the right way. The flat goes to the outside. Okay, so I have my seal kit here, and yeah, I got my inside O-ring and my outer O-ring, is what I can tell. So, just FYI, this O-ring fits way back in there. So it does take a little bit to get it out. And that was what I was working with the screwdriver there. I don't want to, you can see where somebody's done it before. They got a little notch right there. Maybe if I go in there, notch. There we go. It's been on there a while. Well, I got this seal out. And now I got to get my inner seal out. Which, to make it work, I used a couple regular O-rings. You usually have a pick to get these out with. Okay, so we got those out. So now we're going to take our inner seal and put it in. Got to remember how they came out. That's how they got to go back in. A lot of these seals have extra lips and ridges on them. So as you can see, I got my new seal in there. And now I'll put this outer seal on. Make sure it snaps into place. And that's the fun one to get back on the shaft. Alright. I actually think that one of these seals was supposed to go up here at the top of these threads. There's a groove for a seal there. It wasn't on my last one, but I've done these before. I'm putting it right there. So now I have my larger O-ring, and these two would have went. Oh, good thing I'm not using those right now. Those two would have gone on next, so that would be complete. And then we would take this and just slide it back on the shaft. And normally we would have changed this O-ring and this yellow O-ring, but like I said, I just installed that one. We'll probably go ahead and do this other one and then get a better idea. When putting this on, you want to make sure that you do not cut that little O-ring here. It's really easy to do. I get it started with my fingers and fingernail, and then just slowly tap it on and turn it at the same time. It's on there. Grab a new nut. This would have been that little O-ring, so now I'm going to have spares. Alright, so this nut is not a lock nut. I don't like that. So we're not going to use that nut. We're going to put the other new one back on. Tighten this down. Take it back out and line it back up straight to go in there. Now if it isn't straight, it's not going to go in there. So what I do, see how I'm wiggling it to get it started? Now if it had a little bit of hydraulic fluid left in it, see how it pushes out that other side over there. So now we just tighten this down. You don't even have to have hydraulic fluid in it. If you got a good seal, the air inside is going to move it around. tighten it down until it's snug. And that one's pretty much done. We'll come over here and do this one. Press down on the bottom of that pedal button. There we go. You can let go of it. Now let me just get to where you guys can see this one better. See, I didn't have to beat on that with a sledgehammer, which I always like not having to do. Yep, somebody didn't put the O-ring in this one. See how much easier this one comes out? I already tell you, that's not a good sign. That definitely means it's pretty wore out inside. And I did it again.
You told me that?
Yeah, I know. Now remember, the only reason we're doing it, it's a 1970s Bobcat. Cost good money to have these sent in, and it's a 1970s Bobcat. It runs around the farm. It don't have to be perfect.
It looks like you only have one tire, right?
Huh?
It looks like you only have one new tire, right there.
Yeah, we have one new tire. Yes, we do. I'm going to send you in, bud, to, the table in there.
Okay.
There's going to be a package like this on that table. And you'll see a nut in it.
And the right side thing?
The camper where your grandmother is.
Yeah.
You can go in there real quick. It's going to take me a minute to get this done anyway. So, oh, as I was saying before, cylinders have numbers on them, usually around this area. This is so old I couldn't come up with the number. This Bobcat has 4 different cylinders over the years. So, but for me it was easy because they have 4 kits, but only one kit does a 1-inch shaft. And when you click it, you expect to get that kit, but they still sent me the wrong kit. So kits are, I think, $7 to $11 a piece, maybe $12. not very much, versus sending it to the shop and paying a couple $100 to get this done. Okay. It don't even, seal's totally gone here. There's nothing there, no seal. It's disintegrated. Mainly dirt. In that case, you wouldn't know which way it goes. These guys did what I had done on that other one. They just put 2 hydraulic O-rings in there when they did it. Like I said, it was a truck junkyard, so they were just doing what they could.
What did
It'll
you
be a package like this, bud, on the kitchen table.
Okay. In the RV?
Yeah, where the dogs are. Thank you. So, we'll go ahead and start with the outer part of this. Remove the big O-ring. The flat O-ring will be next. Most of the time, you can just take a screwdriver and do anything. I'm going to wipe it clean. There shouldn't be any dirt in there anyway, and I haven't dropped it on the ground, so to speak. But there is a little bit of residue in there. Yes, and you can clean it with some cleaning fluid, brake cleaner, anything. Again, it's just a farm Bobcat. I just needed to do what I need to do. So the first thing we'll do is put on the O-ring that was actually missing. It goes right there. Yeah, those guys just did what they had to do to keep this thing running. And it did work. It just leaks down. And when I deal with those big old logs over there, you got to keep playing with the foot pedal to get it to work. And that's no fun at all. So these 2 O-rings they had in there is actually supposed to look like this O-ring. Flat on one side, there's a little bevel to it.
I didn't see the package.
Okay. Oh wow, there's a hole in the can. Alright. So the next thing we'll do, we'll insert the O-ring. It goes inside. My little manual says that the bevel goes out, and I guess that's so you can slide it up and down on the shaft a little easier when you first get it together.
Do you want it to be pointing towards you?
Yes, you can turn it a little more, bud.
There you go.
Hope they weren't missing too much of this video. So as you can see, I just put this blue O-ring in there. And then we're going to take and put the outer ring on. And I know that the bevel goes out on this one. We just squeeze it all the way around. Pry it in there. Not wanting to sit totally flush. Alright, so I got the outer ring on, the inner ring on. Now we can go back to our flat O-ring. Putting it on there. And then our outer round O-ring. So there we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seals on that. And now we can go to this next one, which I don't have my pocket knife on me, and I usually cut this seal off. Let me see what I can do. Oh yeah, it's dry. It's going to cut in half with just a use of a screwdriver. Be very careful not to stab yourself. There we go. So we cut the O-ring in half to get it off. Makes it so much easier. And then what you're going to find is another O-ring underneath that. So now we have another O-ring that was underneath it. So put that one back in there. And now the fun part. This yellow O-ring will not want to go on there. And I do not use tools to put it on there. I just put it all on by hand. I keep stretching it, working it around. So I got it started up on there. And I just pull it on over. Make sure it does not twist, like this one's trying to do. This O-ring is now too big. So you're gonna have to keep squeezing it. The good thing is there's a bevel inside of here that this O-ring is gonna be pushing on to help get it back in there. Okay, so the last O-ring or seal will be our little shaft seal. Let's see. This one's actually still good, probably don't even need to change it, but we're going to anyway. Just making sure I do not rip that O-ring. Oh, that would have been bad. Got to first put on the first piece. Remember how hard that was to come, or easy that was to come on and off? Now we got some suction in there. So we got that side all back together on the seals. Now, the fun part. The first time putting it in the cylinder. And we got her to go pretty good. Oh, trying to come back out at me. So it'll hold air. See? Push it in and then push it back out. That's good. Means our seals are working. Dylan, go ahead and jump up in there. Now me, I save all the old gaskets. Never know when you might need one that is still relatively good.
Why did I have to hop in?
What?
I said, why did I have to hop in?
Because you're going to crank it up here in a second. You got to test it out.
Why can't you do that?
Why would I? You're smaller than I am. You can get up in there easier.
Yeah, you know how to actually walk that. I don't.
Well, alright, press the right pedal.
Down?
No, that one, yep. Alright, press the other way. Alright, okay, well, you're gonna wanna, I don't want it to work. Alright, so, normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm gonna actually have him crank it up. like and subscribe button. And this is Larry with Barter Farms and Dylan. Thank you very much.